Hey everybody, this is Aaron with Fault Body Studios. Um, I have joined the Pirate Software Game Jam 15. I participated in number 14 as well, with a small little game called Glutinous Maximus. Um, and I've joined number 15 as well, which has the theme of shadows and alchemy. Um, but in trying to build a game out, the very first thing I wanted to do, because I am trying to move into 3D space, I'm trying to do something that is first person this time around. Um, the very first thing I want to do was export and upload to itch a test project to make sure that things were working the way that I expected to. And I'm glad I did that on this very first day instead of at the last minute because it doesn't. Um, the first thing that's an issue, as anyone else who's probably gone through this process has found out, is that camera movement doesn't quite seem to work right. And that's because of the way that web browsers either are or aren't allowed to capture your mouse cursor and its movement. So for anyone that's looking at least to a simple solution to this, is what I'll call it, because I'm not that experienced at this stuff, I have the following for you. So in a web browser, you can't capture the mouse cursor in, say, your ready function, which if you can look at any of my lines of code here, you can see I've tried various things and have some stuff commented out. Don't worry about any of that. Um, so for some reason, and I do not know the details of this, the web browsers will not allow you to change like your mouse capture mode uh, inside of anything other than the input event function. So what I've come up with here is, or I should say, amalgamated from various sources online and made work for me, is currently I have a variable. I believe I have it at the very top called capture mouse. Uh, by default, it's set to be false. And then down in the input function, um, if capture mouse, and this equivalates to if capture mouse is true, then actually turn and do stuff with the camera that it's supposed to. But the big stuff is here. So what this allows it to do is basically when you click in an itch page, which I'll show in a minute, it will start and act like your mouse is actually captured. Um, Hitting escape once, for some reason on a web browser, will free the mouse, but it's not freed in the same way that it is like in the Godot editor. So if you tap escape a second time, it will, and I will show you that right after I go through what this does. So if it detects that there is an input event that is pressing the mouse button down, and basically if it's not already, if the variable for capture mouse is not true at the moment, then it will set the mouse node to be captured. Then I set that variable to be true, and then I have this capture label, which if I go to my like 2D scene here, I have a label that shows up in the top right that kind of instructs the player on what to do. And all it does is it pops up and says, if mouse is not captured, hover over the screen and hit escape and then left click. Because that's specifically how I can get it to work in the web browser. If we go back to the script. So basically, if the mouse is captured, I hide this label, and then I have the engine timescale, so I make the game speed actually be normal speed. In the event that the mouse is not captured, or if you hit escape twice on a web browser only, in the editor again, hitting it once works just fine. But if it's not captured, set the mouse to invisible, set the variable capture mouse to false, show that capture label, and then effectively pause the game by setting the engine timescale to 0. So I'll show you what that looks like on the itch page with my like test project here. And I'll go ahead and hit run game. I've already uploaded this deployment of the game. So right now, even though I can't see my mouse, because I believe in the ready function, I do set it to hidden, which is probably not the best. But it does say in the top left, If mouse is not captured, hover over the screen, hit escape, and then left click. So I'll hit escape on the keyboard first, and then just left click. And now I can turn and look around. My level is nothing to look at the moment. But if I hit escape once, my mouse becomes visible again, but it's still effectively running the game. The engine timescale has not stopped. When I hit escape a second time, this label that I created pops up to let the person know, like, if you want to re-enable capturing the mouse and more or less unpause the game, then you can hit escape again and then left click. Yeah, that's all I got. Hopefully this helps somebody else not go through the frustration that I've been going through for the last, like, 2 or 3 hours to try to get this to work. Best of luck to everybody else competing in the game jam, and I can't wait to see your projects.